Alright. Hello everyone, I'm Boxcat. Let me make sure this is working. Alright, I think we're okay. Actually, let me shut the door. Or should I? I don't know. I'll leave it open for a little. A chance for the cats to come in and jump on the table and accidentally shut the stream down. But hello, I'm Boxcat. As you can see, today we're playing Virche Evermore. We're currently on Lucas's route, as you saw in the title. We've already done Mathis and Cyan, who is my favorite. And I think we're on what are we? Chapter 2, 3? Let's see. 2, yeah. Chapter 2. So last time we met Nadia, who is Lucas's little sister. She's sick in the hospital, unfortunately. And most definitely something bad is gonna happen to her. Okay, what else? Well, we're currently Lucas's teaching assistant. That's our position in this route. Oh, there he is. Hey, Bubba. Hello. Hey, Bo. He's just there looking at me like, let me turn the can't turn it much because okay. Oh well. Alright, goodbye. Bo has left the building. Okay. What was I saying? I forget what I was saying. Oh yes. We're in this route. We're Luca's teaching assistants. And what else happened? I'm trying to remember. Well, from the thumbnail, it does remind me. We left Nadia's hospital room, and we're visiting Mathis. It's around the time when he's in his little depression about not killing Barreau, which I still don't know if I'm saying the name right. Alright, anything else big happen? think so, not that I can remember. Alright, but yeah. Okay. So we should be able to finish this tonight, this route, because they only go to chapter 3, I believe, right? Cyan. Yeah. So we're on chapter 2. I don't know where on chapter 2, but somewhere in chapter 2. So yes, we're heading to Mathis's room, I believe. So, other than that, as for me, wearing the dress, the Virche Evermore dress, this is literally the only time I can wear it, so I take advantage of it. I don't go out much. Let's see. I forget. I feel like there's something that I forget. My mind's just brrr. But yes, I guess let's start. Oh yes, and if you haven't ever heard of Virche Evermore, I should probably tell you, because I'm sure there's people who haven't. It gets dark. It gets dark. A lot of despair, a lot of sadness. I'll probably end up using tissues sometime this stream. Yeah. But after we finish Lucas is the final character until we can unlock the salvation endings, I believe. Or at least unlock Yvez's. Because then we can move on to Yvez, Adolf, and Anko. And I think access the salvation endings. Okay. I'll keep my audio monitoring a little bit, and then I'll switch to my headphones. My favorite CG. I love that. Manic laughter while doing a puzzle. Gotta love it. Alright, well, I hope everyone's been doing well. Let me see. I'm paranoid something's wrong, because usually I do have some scuff. Monitor and see if I'm too loud. I'll see if there's any background fuzz. Because in my VODs, I noticed there's some background fuzz. You can only notice it when it's silent, but it's there, unfortunately. So I need to figure out how to fix that, but not today. Today we focus on the game because I think this is acceptable so far. And as you can see, I'm using my computer webcam because new webcam is it wasn't connecting to OBS, and I didn't feel like messing with that. That would have taken too long. So I know I'm not gonna get an answer, but is it bad to take a water vitamin supplements that's expired? Because a while back, my friend gave me those little Lemina BTS powder, vitamin powder packets you put in the water bottle. And I forgot about them and just found them in the back of the pantry. So now I decided I should at least use them, even though they technically expired in 2021. But I mean, it should be fine, right? Right? I mean, worst case, it doesn't do anything, but it should be fine, I think. I hope. Let's just leave this over here. Maybe over here. Okay, let's get started. Do a stretch. Always good to stretch. All right. Let's get to it. Right. Switch, not mouse. So I estimate tonight's stream will probably go like 3 to 5 hours, maybe. That would be my estimates. It could go longer, but I don't know. I'm trying to decide if I should cut it in half. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel, because I didn't really get much sleep last night. I mean, I feel awake, so we'll see how far we get. Alright, let's do this. After leaving Nadia, who reluctantly let me go, I headed to the Cloud family mansion again, hoping that Jean would be there. Freaking Jean. I found and delivered the homework assignment from Lucas to give to Mathis, who was holed up in his attic study, as usual. Yeah, that's it. Because Lucas had the idea that, since, Mathis is a little depressed, Lucas had the idea that to refocus Mathis's attention, he'd give him an assignment, a literary related assignment, because, Mathis is like, he likes to write, he likes stories. So Lucas had the idea of trying to give Mathis an assignment to divert his attention to something other than the dark sadness he's in right now. I watched them from a short distance. I hadn't seen Mathis for a while, but he appeared very tired. He read through the paper word by word. His eyes were dull and bleary, nothing like the brilliance from when he spoke about the drifter. My poor baby. According to Jean, Mathis had been spending day after day looking up at the ceiling in a daze, with an open book in hand. Upside down, probably. I think that actually happened in this route.
いかがですか、坊ちゃん。
Any thoughts, Master?
リュカ先生がせっかく作ってくださったものです。
Lucas went to the trouble of preparing this for you.
解いてみては
So
いか
perhaps
が
you
で
can
しょ
go
う。
through them? I'm impatient. I'm being impatient. I need to wait. I need to be patient. Dot dot dot. I could hear a sigh of distress. Mathis, I also have a message from you from Lucas. He said there's no deadline, that you may do one question a day or one question a week. So feel free to look it over at your leisure. And if you do answer any of the questions, please let him know that he can come praise you. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Mathis is.
どうして
Why?
どうしてそこまで僕なんかに。
Why go through all this for me? I approached him and spoke with the hope he might listen. I'm sure Lucas considers you one of his dear students. Mathis, I don't think Lucas expects you to change overnight. Why don't you rest as much as you want? And when you feel like it, you can give those questions a try. Oh, but I think you should eat and sleep properly for your own sake. One other thing. Yves and the rest of us are worried about you. After Mathis's eyes wandered a bit,
ごめんなさい。
you're forgiven.
それからありがとう。心配してくれて。
He doesn't realize how lovable he is. It kind of saddens me. His voice sounded dry, probably because he hadn't spoken in a while. But the kindness in his voice was still the same. I talked a bit more about how things were going with Yves and the others, which took quite a bit of time. They were kind enough to invite me to join them for dinner, and soon night arrived.
本当に何から何までありがとうございます。
Thank you very much for everything.
あなたと先生のおかげで、坊ちゃんが久しぶりに正気を取り戻してくれました。
I haven't seen the master so full of life in a long while. It's all thanks to you and the good teacher.
しかも手料理のレシピまでわざわざ書き起こしていただいて、このお礼はいつか必ず。
I'm indebted to you for the nutritious recipes you shared with us. I shall repay your kindness someday soon. Can you give me back the trauma? The sanity from the trauma you gave me on his route? Can you do that? I don't think so. No need at all. It was a pleasure. I'm just glad to have heard Mathis's voice again. To be honest, I was reluctant to tell him I was looking into Barreau's past. He had been so deeply involved in pursuing him that I had to think long and hard about what this news would do. It's probably best that we didn't tell him. At the moment, I think for Mathis, the best thing for him is not to think about Barreau or the murders and, just start to live his life. Less revenge, more living. I ended up not telling him anything, as there was no progress, and I didn't want to bring up the topic now that he was recovering. At the very least, not yet. I hope he works on Lucas's assignments. I lowered my head as we said goodbye, partially so Jean could see that I was holding back any information. Wouldn't see. We don't want him to see. I left the Cloud Mansion, optimistic about the small changes taking place. I still think those are so cool. Before long, it was close to midnight. I walked through the streets quietly so that it wouldn't bother those who were sound asleep. We tiptoed. Maybe I can introduce Mathis to Nadia when she's feeling better. Knowing how bright and charming Nadia was, I was sure they would become friends in no time. I could see that. Yves, Adolf, and the others? It'd be nice if those precious to me could become just as precious to her. She's so cute. She's adorable. Oh, he's just trying to hide it, after all.
もう何年も前から あなたのことを
Oh yeah,
女性として好きだもの。
she tattletaled that her brother has feelings for us. Yes, my brother has liked you romantically for years. It's like, ah! I felt breathless at the memory of what she said earlier. I never thought for a moment that he might think anything like that. How? How? Everything was there. Like, the amount of attention he pays to her is not just a teacher and his favorite students. Or rather, favorite ex-student, because she's no longer his student. So technically it's not a student-teacher relationship, but former student and teacher relationship. It's fine. But yes, he pays way too much attention to her for there not to be something behind it. Of course, I also knew that despite his feminine beauty, Lucas was still a man. When the guy is prettier than you. There were times I felt flustered by certain moments of masculinity and gentleness from him. In some ways, I felt a longing that I knew would never be realized. I could convince myself that this sort of charm had come naturally to him. That he was simply a teacher who wished to look after all his students. But what if those kind gestures were based on what Nadia said? No. I can't think of a single reason why he would actually like me. I'm sorry, Nadia. I think you have the wrong girl. Because there's no one out there who would love death. Sad. If anyone did really like me, then their love would be for naught. Lucas will be 23 soon. Even if he becomes a reliver, he'll lose any affection he might have toward me. True. That was to be expected in this country. Everyone accepted it as the immutable fact.
待って、セレスさん、待ってください。
Oh, why is he chasing after us? Mathis? I was startled to see who it was who called out to me. I never expected him to actually leave his room, much less the mansion after just a day.
よかった、追いつけた。すみません、僕ずっとうじうじと屋根裏部屋から出ないで。
We got him out of this room, yay! Thank goodness I caught you. I'm sorry for everything. I couldn't even leave the attic.
あなたにちゃんとお礼
I
も
can't
せ
even
ず。
thank you. Thank me? Hearing my response, Mathis's somewhat sunken cheeks blushed.
はい。その
Such a cutie.
課題届けてくれてありがとうございます。
Well, thank you very much for bringing those papers to me.
僕あの中に書かれた難しい問題を読んだ瞬間、
As soon as I read those really challenging questions,
初めて見る問題で解いてみたいなってすごくドキドキしました。
yeah, I get more frustrated than excited. I'd never seen anything like it. I was so excited to figure out the answers.
あんな気持ちは本当に久しぶりで、自分の心がまだ生きてるんだなって実感できたんです。
I hadn't felt that way in a long time. It was then that I realized I'm still alive.
それとこんな僕を心配してくれる人が
That there are people who actually care about me.
ジャン以外にもいつの間にこんなに増えたんだなって。
Someone other than Jean. More people than ever before. Mathis.
ブローのことはまだ割り切れません。
I still can't come to terms with what happened to Bro.
でも自分なりにこれから何をしたいのかをゆっくり考えてみます。
So I'll spend some time thinking about what I want to do from now on.
それこそあの課題を解きながら
I'll do that assignment in the meantime. Yes, I know that Mathis would be fine now. Trying to comfort or console him at this point would be an insult to his progress. But there was one thing I needed to say. I'm sure Lucas would be happy to hear you say that.
はい。いつか先生にも直接お礼を言いに行こうかと。
You might want to hurry it up because he's aging. That sounds horrible. That sounds so mean. In a world where you're old at the age of 23. Nah, 23 is young. Yes, someday I'll go thank him in person.
でも その先生になんだかセレスさん似てきましたね。
I noticed that you're a little like him, Ceres. I am?
そうですよ。僕を諭す時の優しい口調とか無理をさせないところそっくりです。
That's right. Like the gentle tone you use to encourage me without forcing anything.
もしかしてあなたは教師のお仕事に向いているのかも。
With something like, I think being a teacher might be a calling. And then he gave us a smile. Someone's dying. It was inevitable. I'm surprised it only happened now. Under the full moonlight, a beastly roar rang out. And naturally, we're gonna go check it out. Our gaze quickly moved to a house nearby. The window was polished and clear, allowing us to see the bright light from inside. In an instant, it was covered in a red splatter that hid everything from our eyes. Well, someone was just murdered. I was speechless. My mind struggled to follow the quickness of events as they unfolded. I wanted to ask Mathis what was going on. I don't think he knows what's going on, honey. But the thick red coating on the window answered the question before I could ask. Okay, it's just tomato sauce. And the next moment, something crashed through it and rolled outside in front of us. It's a head, probably. They've done it before, they do it again. As it slowed to a stop, it left a trail of blood behind it. We discovered that the object was a dismembered chunk of a human body. Wonderful. Just what I wanted to see on my way home. Huh? Yeah. I think this is the natural reaction. Mathis and I were in complete shock by the amount of blood that pooled around it. Suddenly, a shadow leapt out of the broken window and landed on the ground. God, please don't be Burrow. We were just making progress. It slowly straightened up from where it stood upon a sticky liquid. It can't be. Damn it! Why couldn't it be anyone else? We were literally just making progress with Mathis. He was healing. Why did you have to come now? Before we progress, I'm gonna go shut the door. I get self-conscious. myself out, sorry. And I think we're fine, so I'm just gonna switch over to the headphones. I forgot to put the tea bag in there. Anyway, back to the game. With the Watchman of Death said,
ブロー
Mathis, go home. Please.
そんな死んだはずじゃ
He did. It's an imposter. He's cosplaying. It's your imagination, Mathis. Let's direct you home, my child. But I thought he died. The man whose skin should have been melted by acid was now standing in front of us. Also, why did he kill this man? Well, why does he kill anyone? So, never mind. Burrow ignored us and drew closer to the chunk of body on the ground. He struck his bare hand through it, grasping at the organ that once beat inside it. He pulled his hand out to reveal a whole heart. With the force of the pull, a rain of blood splurted out of the body and drenched us. Fun. Burrow then placed the heart he just extracted onto a strange receptacle attached to his cloak. He then drew out a beautiful dagger and stabbed a dagger through the cavity he just made in the corpse's chest. Like, what's the purpose of this? Like, why does he do this? I mean, why do serial killers kill people? But, like, I feel like there's a reason. There's gonna be some sort of messed up logic behind it, right? Or some sort of something, right? Like, why does he use that method? Finally, he clasped his hands as if offering the body to heaven. His warped smile reflected off the red pool of blood spreading across the ground. Yeah, we need to change the clothes. How is Mathis still dry? Wait, how come we're all bloody and he's completely fine? Weren't we standing next to each other? That's unfair. Although I'm glad he's not covered in blood. But, I mean, it's a little unfair. My breathing grew faster. My pulse was racing. Mathis and I couldn't move an inch. What was that? Who was he? What brought him back to life? What kind of genes did he have? What manner of human was brought into this world? I couldn't help but resent his parents, whose faces I didn't even know. situation was much, much worse than when he attacked Hugo or fought Yves and the others. An astounding madness stood before us. Even Mathis, who struggled over his lost vengeance, was now shaking with fear. Instead, a cold sweat. It was the blood that splattered on me that rolled down my cheek. Suddenly, Virche took one step forward through the pool of blood. The splashing sound struck my eardrums, snapping me out of my shock. I somehow kept myself from falling to my knees. Mathis, we need to run. We need to run, child. We need to run. Grab my hand. Hurry! I forcefully pulled Mathis by the arm and brought him to one of the alleyways nearby. Why did you bring him to an alleyway? The safest place is an alleyway. Let's go! No! No, it's not! It's one of the least safe places. See, he's thinking it too. He's like, what are they thinking of? An alley, really? We need to find the rail guard, or the corpse. A shadow suddenly landed in front of us. Ah! Virche raised his bloodied halberd and walked toward us. As he slowly drew it back, Lucas! It was a roar like thunder. Before I knew it, someone had come from behind and struck Virche, knocking him back. I didn't actually do it. The wall that took his body crumbled from the force. The person who kicked that monster was our favorite teacher. But how did he know where we were? That's my only question. Surely this isn't coincidence? He's been following us. Ceres, are you alright? Lucas, why was he here?
説明は後ほど。今はあの男を退けなければ。
I'll explain later. First, we need to escape and... Virche groaned as he stood up. Lucas quietly moved in front of me, and Mathis to protect us. I'm gonna move this. There. That should help. Tension filled the air as they faced each other.
私の生徒に手を出すようなら、未熟な身なれど、相手をさせていただきますが。
I may not be a threat, but if you dared harm them, I will fight with all my might. As if provoked, Virche slowly moved in, when suddenly... He probably sensed people starting to gather from the sound of the wall crumbling. Like the other nights, he jumped up the wall and disappeared into the night sky. Like Batman. No, Batman was, Mathis. You're right. When he was completely out of sight. The The strength left my knees, and I crumbled to the ground with Mathis.
よく友人を守りましたね。
You did well to protect each other.
頑張りま。いえ、怖かったでしょ
You've done? No. You must have been scared.
う。もう大丈夫ですよ。
But it's all right now. Aww. He gently embraced us together. I trembled and nodded as he held us in his arms. Later. The rail guard received reports of the disturbance and arrived on the scene. We were taken to the church space used by the corpse. It seemed that there was a number of murders in the Cheddis before the one we saw. Mathis and I both witnessed his gruesome work in action. Mathis was in such a state of shock that he was unable to even speak. Hearing news of what happened, Jean arrived and took his master back home. My baby. Can we get a new pair of clothes, please? I don't want to stay in these bloody ones. I couldn't stop trembling. My mind seemed unwilling to confront what had just happened. When Anko said that it was just the beginning, was he talking about Barreau? When I hadn't returned to the orphanage earlier, Mother contacted Lucas, who came to the rescue. Ah, that's he was probably on his way to pick us up. It had been 3 hours, but I was still sitting frozen at the church. The door slowly opened. My body jolted, thinking that the shadow had returned for me.
"私ですよ、セレス君。
Don't worry, Ceres. It's just me. Lucas?
はい。あなたの教師、リュカ・プルーストです。
Yes. Your teacher, Lucas Proust. The warm hand that acknowledged me and encouraged me reached out and held my shaking hand.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
怖い思いをさせてしまって、本当にごめんなさい。
I mean, it's not like it's your fault, right? I'm truly sorry for having you to experience such horrors.
私がお使いなど頼まなければ、君があんなおぞましい光景を目にすることはなかったのに。
If I hadn't asked you to deliver that assignment, you wouldn't have had witnessed that gruesome sight. I knew who was really at fault. Yet he was blaming himself, and his expression warped with pain. After a brief silence, I was somehow able to calm my heavy breathing enough to speak. You've done nothing wrong, Lucas. It's my fault. I was the one who stayed out so late. I even dragged Mathis into this situation. Uncle warned me before that the deaths weren't over yet. Just as I was about to bring that up,
違います。
you're wrong. Lucas denied it in a firm voice.
ここで頑張るのは間違っていますよ、セレス君。
This is not the time or place to be strong, Therese.
むしろ頑張ったら私は君が本音を語ってくれるまで叱ります。
In fact, I may have to scold you until you're honest with me. Huh?
こんな時ぐらい君は人のせいにしてもいいのです。
You're allowed to blame those responsible.
その程度の弱音ならば神もきっとお許しになられる。
If that is the extent of your sins, I'm sure God will forgive you. Instead of tears, something else spilled out. Should I be worried? Lucas. I was so scared. My fears were exposed. My fingers and lips trembled. If I had died, I would never be able to help you again. I wouldn't be able to make this children smile with you. To make the children smile with you. More than one. I initially became his aide as a way to conduct my investigation. But the heartwarming time spent with him and the children grew stronger and stronger. Realizing how close I was, just wondering what if, I can't stop from shaking.
はい。
I see. So please, could you please hold my hand a little bit longer? I still can't believe that I'm alive, and that I was able to see you again.
君が望むのならいくらでも。
I'll hold your hand for as long as you want.
あんな恐ろしいものを前に生きることを諦めないでいてくれてありがとう。
Thank you for not giving up on your life in the face of that fearful existence.
君が無事で本当によかった。
I'm truly glad you're safe. Why was he like this? Why did he dote on me without a second thought? Being with Lucas makes me forget that I'm the sinful death. Moreau had revived from the dead, and with him the murders. During our previous operation, his name had circulated amongst the people in order to aid with his capture. No gag order could erase what was known. The news that he revived spread quickly and sent everyone into fearful unease. Oh, thank God. I changed into a new set of clothes that Adolf had brought from the orphanage. When I rejoined them, I explained everything that I had seen.
死ぬような思いをして退治したブローが生きていたか。悪夢の再来だな。
So all the trouble to finally stop Moreau was for nothing since he's still alive. I guess the nightmare continues.
まさかお前の調査が実を結ぶどころか予言になるとは。
I didn't think your hunch would lead anywhere, let alone come true. Honestly, I just wanted to uncover his identity.
分かっている。規格外なのは間違いなくあっちの方だ。
I understand. Seems he defied all our expectations.
あの日の遺体は確かに回収したし、リライバーとして蘇ったのかな。
His body was recovered back then, so maybe he revived as a reliver?
他にねえだろ
国立研究所が把握してね、違法のリライバー施設でもどっかにあんじゃねえのか。
I mean, there could be. I would not be surprised. Actually, I'm almost certain there is. Because I remember in another route, Mathis's maybe even? Yeah, Mathis's. Jean had said. Oh, hold up. Let me get the thing up. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. You can't see it. Oh well. Okay. So in Mathis's roots, Jean had said that how he got the technology to stuff the memories into Mathis's head, the personality sort of. He said he got them from someone at the institutes, which obviously would have been illegal, right? So it would not be a far theory for there to be an illegal Reliver manufacturing place. Because that's probably where he would have, Jean would have consulted to get the technology to do his thing. So there might actually be. Alright.
とすると俺たちの管轄外だな。後でシアンにどうにか連絡をつけねえと。
Yay, Cyan! That also means this isn't under our jurisdiction. Guess we better get in touch with Cyan somehow.
ああ、ならそれは俺が担当するよ。
Yeah, I'll handle that.
それで、あの坊ちゃんとセレスはこれからどうすんだ？
So what are we gonna do about the young master and Ceres?
顔は見てねえとはいえ、ブローの犯行現場をバッチリ目撃しちまってんだぞ。
They might not have seen his face, but they didn't witness Virche doing his thing, you know?
確実に口封じとして命を狙われる。
So we're going
下
to
手したら
witness
施
protection, I
設にいる
guess.
子供たちやシスターまで巻き添えだ。
I guess he's gonna go after them next. Worse, he might even target the kids at the orphanage. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. I'm sure we're fine on that end. Unless it's different, bro. Then maybe we're not. Oh no.
ひとまず一刻も早く彼女の周囲へ警備を敷くのが最優先では。
For the time being, shouldn't our first priority be to plan her security?
ならマティスと一緒に自警団の詰め所か町外れにある俺の家でしばらく寝泊まりするか。
Then she and Malthus can stay with the corpse. Or come over to my place away from town. Either works. I don't want the children to be harmed. So if you don't,
その必要はない。
that isn't necessary. The church's door slammed open, and the Royal Guard's soldiers, who recovered the body, walked in. They all looked horribly pale, probably from witnessing the gruesome crime scene. Even so, they tried to maintain their swagger as they strutted over to us. Oh gosh, what now? One of the soldiers brought out a familiar scroll and spread it open for us to see. The parchment succinctly stated that the king was indignant by the murders that occurred near the royal residence. such, the gag order was completely lifted, and all forces would seek to capture or kill Burrow once again. To that end, the two who had witnessed the crime and were likely to be his next targets would declare to be bait for Burrow, and not to receive any protection or security. I mean, I can understand the using us as baits to catch him thing, but still, not cool. Rudolph's expression went cold, and Yves chuckled bitterly.
やっと重い腰を上げたと思ったら民におとりになれってか。とことん腐ってんな、うちの国は。
Yeah, it kinda does. I thought they were finally managing to pull their own weights, but I guess not. And our country really sucks. Hugo muttered in a low voice that could not be heard by the royal guard. We didn't have the right to go against a royal proclamation. However, we would only agree under two conditions. We didn't want the children to be put at risk, so I would be moving elsewhere for now. Minimal security would also be in place, though not at the level to deter Burrow. After discussing our next steps,
後でジャンにも確認を取るけど、マティスの家には俺とヒューゴが居候して警護に当たるよ。
I'll contact Jean to confirm, but Hugo and I will stay at Mathis's place to guard him.
では彼女の警備はアドルフ君が担当？
So Adolf will guard Ceres then?
いや、近衛兵からの命令で俺は自警団に詰めて連携や団員への指示に当たることになった。
No. The royal guard ordered me to stay with the corps and coordinate their movements.
じゃあどうすんだよ。普通の団員じゃあのブロー相手に10秒も持たねえぞ。
Then what? None of our other guys will last 10 seconds against that damn Burrow.
警備ならばそこのリュカ・プルーストに命じればいいだろう。
If you want security, have Lucas Proust do it. Interrupting our conversation was the royal guard soldier we had only just met. As Adolf and the others stared at the soldier, I could almost hear them thinking, "What are you talking about?" The new topic of our discussion stood still with a serious look on his face. Seeing that Lucas wasn't saying anything, I slowly raised my hand. May I ask why? An ordinary citizen would be in danger too. He is not ordinary.
なんだお前たち自警団と関わりがあるものだというのに何も知らないのか。
What, you folks are supposed to be the corpse and you don't know who he is?
戸籍調査をしたところ、リュカ・プルーストはシュディからクーネに移り住んだ元近衛兵を父に持つ。
According to the family registry, Lucas Proust's father is a former royal guard who moved from Cheddar to Coin.
自警団の先代リーダーの息子だぞ。相応の訓練を受けているに決まっている。
He's the son of the previous corpse leader. Of course he'd have sufficient training.
たしなむ程度の護身術であれば確かに教えを受けてはいますが。
It is true that I learned the basics of self-defense. His voice was clear in the silence, unlike mine.
は？
Revelations! The three slowly turned to Lucas like rested cogs.
息子
Son?
師匠の
The boss's son?
嘘だろ。
You're kidding me.
おや、てっきり承知の上で私と交流していたのかと。
My. I thought you all knew that when we first met.
長い間絶縁同然の状態だったので詳細は把握していませんが。
I don't know exactly what my father did, as we never spoke about it, but...
私の父は確かに 亡くなる前に自警団のリーダーを務めていたと噂で聞きましたよ。
I did hear through the rumors that he was the leader of the corps before he passed away.
はあ、嘘だろ。かけらも似てね
I love that, huh? Liar, you two don't look alike.
どうやったら2メートル近くもある
Maybe
筋
he
肉
takes
男の
it
遺
from
伝子
his
から
mother.
あんたみたいな男が生まれんだ。
He might take after his mother. He is very feminine. How the hell can genes like that be from a... How the hell can genes from that towering Hulk make a guy like you?
つかあの人、あんたとは違って性なしだったぞ。
I've never even heard him use his surname.
シュディ出身の人間は自警団に入れないので黙っていたのでは。
Perhaps he didn't disclose it because Cheddar's residents can't join the corps. Responding to Hugo's question slowly revealed Lucas's relationship with the previous leader of the corps. It was then I realized Adolf and Yves had been unusually quiet. Struggling to breathe. I turned around and saw Adolf and Yves shaking slightly, having broken out in a waterfall of cold sweat. Trauma memories. Oh, what the?
ああ、先代はな、自警団全員が束になってもかなわねえぐらいとんでもなく強い男だったんだよ。
Well, you see, the previous leader of the corps was so strong that no one stood a chance, even if they gained up on him.
特に直接弟子として取ってたこいつらには厳しくてな。
He was particularly strict against his two apprentices there.
泳げないだと。民の治安と安寧を守る兵に明確な弱点があるなど言語道断。
You don't know how to swim? It's unforgivable to have such a weakness as a soldier dedicated to protecting the people.
今から放り投げてやるゆえ、沖から自力で泳ぎ帰ってこい、アドルフ！
I'm gonna throw you out in the ocean, so find a way to swim back, Adolf. Rough teacher. Like, what if he drowned?
イブ、お前には素晴らしい剣の才能があるが、今は持久力に欠けている。
Yves, you have great talent for swordsmanship, but you obviously lack stamina.
よって、今から獲物なしで3日間、飲まず食わずで、斧を手に負う私から逃げ切ってみせろ。
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, I'd be traumatized too if my teacher did that. Such you are to wield no weapons for 3 days. You would not eat or drink. I'll chase you with an axe, so run for your life. And somehow he's
これより
alive.
模擬戦を開
I
始す
guess
る
it。worked.
イブ、アドルフ、2人揃って私を殺すつもりでかかってこい。
We will begin our mock battle. Yves, Adolf, come at me as though your lives depend on it.
私もまたお前たちを殺すつもりで指導してやる。
I'll train you to battle with the intention of killing you both. Oh god. I can understand where the trauma is coming from now.
死んでもおかしくねえような特訓を繰り返してたせいですっかり恐怖の象徴になっちまったんだ。
They nearly died every time they saw him. So the old boss became a symbol of fear for them.
私も覚えがあります。父はとても厳しい人でしたから。
That sounds just like him. Father was certainly very strict.
あ、ほら、前に酒場でアドルフがイブを投げ飛ばしてたことがあるだろ。あれも 先代から教わった護身術の一つだよ。
You remember when Adolf threw Yves at the bar? That's one of the techniques they learned from the old boss. Oh, in their mock battle in the bar earlier at the beginning of the route. Now that you mention it, that was a strange throw. I can only imagine the kind of training they went through to make him so frightened. Adolf managed to recover and clear his throat before speaking again.
なるほどな。驚きはしたが納得はいった。あんたのあのバカ力は先代からの遺伝だったのか。
I see. I'm surprised. But it all makes sense. So that strange power of yours comes from our boss's genes.
その説はご迷惑をおかけしました。隠すつもりはなかったのですが、君の反応が面白かったもので、つい。
I'm sorry for teasing you back then. I wasn't trying to hide my identity, but your reaction was just so amusing. Huh? Wait, Adolf wasn't joking?
じゃあ、俺の肋骨を折って心臓を蘇生したのも。
Oh god. So that's why I was brought back to life with broken ribs.
不意打ちとはいえ、あのブローを蹴りで吹き飛ばした男だぞ。
That's why he was able to knock back Burrow's surprise attack, or not? Well,
説得力しかないかな。
that's enough evidence for me.
けどそれなら確かに護衛として申し分ないかも。
But if that's the case, maybe he is the best we've got to keep watch over here.
リュカ先生、どうかこいつのことを頼めるか。
Lucas, can you please take care of her? He responded with a perplexed smile.
彼女を守りたいという気持ちは皆さんと同じなのですが。
Well, I feel the same way as everyone about protecting her, but...
年頃の女性と二人きりで同居というのはいささか抵抗が。
I do have my concerns about having a young lady living with me.
ああ、教師ならそこはやっぱ気になるよな。
Especially since you were her teacher.
だがこれは勅命だ。お前に拒否する権利はない。
By decree, the Royal Guard would not assist. I'm sorry, Lucas. I'll try my best not to get in your way.
いえいえ、私が過敏なだけですよ。君自身に抵抗が
He's
ないの
just
なら
shy.
喜んで自宅に招待させていただきます。
Oh no, I'm just overreacting. If you don't mind, I'd be more than happy to invite you to my humble home.
見ての通り、頼りない騎士ではありますが、大事な教え子の命のためとあらば、精一杯
I
尽
may
く
be
させて
an
いただきま
unreliable
しょう。
knight, but I will do my very best to protect the life of my dear students. I might take a break from the male voice as my throat's been hurting lately, so... Get some water. The next day, I prepared everything I needed for my stay and left with Lucas, who came to escort me.
それで今朝になってようやく。
So you finally realized this morning.
施設の子供たちが拗ねていた理由
It's
が
habits.
分かったんですね。
The reason the children at your orphanage were pouting. Yes. I didn't expect them to have so much to say about it. They're like, no fair.
言っちゃや
No, don't go.
今日こそお姉ちゃんと遊ぶって決めてたの。リュカ先生ばっかりずるい。
We were gonna play with you today, sis. It's no fair that you always get to hang out with Monsieur Proust.
せっかくこれから仲良くしようと思ってたのに。
So much for us getting along as friends.
なんだよいつも仕事仕事って。あんたはここの職員だろ。先生や他の施設に取られたみたいで。なんかやだ。
Damn that work of yours. You work here. It's just wrong that you and Monsieur Proust always get to go to some of our orphanage.
もうこんな時にわがままを言わないの。
Come now. Let's not be selfish.
今まで素直になる機会はたくさんあったのに、何もしなかったのはあなたたちでしょ。
She was here for so long, so isn't it your children? Isn't it that you children that take advantage of the opportunity? True.
出発の直前にごめんなさいね、セレス。
I'm sorry for the trouble, Ceres.
この子たち、あなたが明るくなってから一緒に遊びたがっていたんだけど、
The children all wanted to play with you since you finally opened up, but
今までが今までだったから、どう話しかければいいのかわからなかったみたいで。
I suppose they didn't know how they should approach you or what to say. So it's not like I did anything wrong then. I'm sorry I didn't approach you all sooner. When I come back, I'll play with everyone for as long as you want, okay?
うん。
Okay.
絶対だぞ。怪我すんなよ。
You promised. You better not get hurt. Yes, I promise. Thank you, Milo.
しばらくは他の施設から応援を呼ぶから、家事のことは心配しないで。
I'll ask the orphanage to send help. So don't worry about the chores here.
無事に帰ってくることを最優先に考えるのよ。
Just make sure
私
that you
の子供
return
たち
safe
と
and
一緒に
sound.
待ってるから。
The children and I will be waiting. Understood. I'll be going, Mother. And here I am now.
実に微笑ましいではありませんか。
Such a heartwarming experience.
これは何が何でも無傷で君を施設に返さなければ。
But I suppose this
責任
emphasizes
重大
the
です。
need to make sure you return without a single scratch. Quite the responsibility. We headed not toward his house, but down a road heading to the hospital. The reason was so we could explain to Nadia what happened. Nadia's gonna be ecstatic. It needed to be kept secret, especially from a security standpoint. Lucas had been visiting Nadia daily to inform her of everything that had happened that day in her diary. So instead of writing lies into something so precious, we decided it was best to simply let her know in person. Are you sure it's okay for us to visit Nadia when I'm Burrow's target? When I expressed my anxiety, Lucas responded with a worried look on his face.
王家からはいつも通りに生活するよう命じられているので、もはや日課となっている見舞いを取りやめることは難しいかと。
The royal family ordered that we live our lives as usual, and going to see her is an established part of my routine.
相手の行動時間は夜間のみのようですし、つい帰りが遅くならないよう、その点を互いに意識しておきましょう。
It seems our assignment moves only during the night hours, so we can arrange our schedules to not be out too late. Understood. He wanted to see his dear younger sister, but now he needed to worry about the time. Thinking about it now was quite depressing, and I felt bad for dragging Lucas into my situation. It's donuts.
あれあ、いけない。入力する数値間違えた。テスト結果が大変なことに。
Oh shoot. I inputted the wrong valve. The test results are in trouble. His mind had been adrift, and now the data for one of the clone bodies was etched with random numbers. Uh-oh. Donut quickly deleted the history and recalculated the data.
何をぼーっとしている。そんな初歩的なミスをするなどらしくないな。
What are you daydreaming about? It's not like you to make such an elementary mistake.
すみません。ちょっと考え事をしてまして。
I'm sorry, I was just thinking, that's all. He forced a smile on his face, then realized the man in front of him was the smartest and most talented man in the country. Seeing him so often must have made him forget that fact. What reminded him?
シアンさん。
Cyan.
シアンさんって先天性の病気について詳しかったりします？
Is this Cyan or Cyan? I don't know. I pronounce it both ways. Cyan, do you know anything about hereditary diseases?
枠が大まかすぎる。具体例を出せ。
Too broad of a question. Give me details.
さすがにそれは聞き出す暇がなくて、自分でそれとなくあれかなって当たりはつけてるんですけど。
I didn't have the time to ask for details. I mean, I sort of have a hunch, but I'm not exactly sure.
でも、だとしたら、
But if
あの子は。
so, then he's talking about Nadia. Because remember in the last time he met Nadia.
ダハトくん、そんなに小さいのに研究者なの？すごいわ。私、初
He's
め
not
て
that
見た。
young. Though I don't think you'll tell her. You're still so young, Donuts. And you were already a researcher? That's amazing. I've never seen a researcher before.
リライバーになることをどう思うか。そうね。
Choco. Welcome in, Choco. My heart will go on. How you been? Pretty good. Nothing too crazy, but yeah. School's starting soon? The 16th? It's coming up. It'll be fine. I kind of forget what school feels like. It's been a while, honestly. You'll make it. Oh. Unfortunately, we do, but. It's always hard work, but you'll make it. Oops. I get that feeling. I'm not exactly the academic type. I've never been very good in school. Yeah, the pressure from the family. That's not fun. Well, depending on how many classes you take, you might be able to focus on a particular subject, which might help ease some of the pressure. Need some water. But yeah. I've thought about going back to school, but it's really a issue of money. It's so expensive. And I don't know how I'd do in the academic sector of it. I just barely passed algebra 1. I find math very difficult. But every now and then, I do kind of wish I could go back to school. I hate how in other countries it's so inexpensive to go to school, yet here in America it's like thousands upon thousands of dollars a year. It's kind of ridiculous. I know there's scholarships, but honestly, those only do so much. And they only apply to certain people, certain demographics, you know, that stuff. Like, you're still gonna have to pay thousands of dollars. Scholarship's only gonna help so much, but it'll help, but only so much. So that's mainly what's keeping me. But yeah, once in school, it is tough. But Nadia here doesn't have to go to school because she's dying, which isn't great. She probably wishes she could go to school, but although her brother is Lucas, so Lucas probably teaches her here. So she has a personal teacher. No, don't. But sleep where you can. Nah, that's not the... That's not the answer. Are you gonna go from home, or are you living in dorms? I lived in dorms for a little bit when I was in college. I did eventually move back home because of some conflicts with like roommates and just like honestly I wasn't eating very well. But for a little while I did live in a dorm. Yeah, that too. They're expensive. You know, the one thing I do regret is like not joining any like social clubs or anything. If I could go back, I'd want to join one of those. Because I mostly just focused on like school and, you know, being in my bubble. It's like everyone says, college is your time to get out of your bubble and live your life and all that stuff. And it's like, oh, no, I didn't. So I kind of feel like I missed out. That's life. Anyway, cute little Nadia here. She's adorable. No, she'll never make it to college. Poor baby. Huh? What do I think about being a reliver? Let me see.
やっぱり長生きできても大事な愛や元の体がなくなっちゃうのは怖いわ。
I think that even if I can live a long time, I'm afraid of losing my feelings and love for my original body.
もしもよ、私がリライバーになって兄様への気持ちが淡白なものになったら
Just if I became a reliver and my love for my brother disappeared.
とっても悲しいと思うの。でもそれ以上に
That would be really sad. But what's sadder is
兄様とつないだこの手を失うのはもっと悲しい。
losing the hands that I used to hold my brother's hand with.
病院の人たちはリライバーになるぐらいなら死んだ方がマシだって言うけれど
The people here tell me they'd rather die than become a reliver, but
最初から諦めるのもおかしくないかしら。
it's strange to give up so early in life. Hear that, Choco?
ねえダハトくん、リライバーと短命そのどっちでもない。
Say, Donut, I heard there are people who aren't relivers and can live a long time.
外の国で生きているような。
People who live outside this country.
しわしわのおばあちゃんになれる
Like
普通
elves?
の人間になりたいって願うことは
No, like normal humans.
そんなにおかしいこと？
Remember, everyone here only can live until the age of 23. Before they either have to choose death or becoming a reliver. And losing feelings. So, is it wrong to want to become like the girls who grow up and become wrinkled grandmothers? Yeah, I choose death too. It's like, if you become a reliver and you lose your feelings, what's the point of living? You're just a body going around the world, your life, doing stuff. What's the point?
どうして誰も呪いそのものに抵抗しようとしないのかしら。
I wonder why no one's trying to fight the curse itself. The words of the young girl rang in his head. He had heard many citizens complain about the features of being a reliver, but never once had he heard of someone so remorseful over losing a body.
お母さん
Mother. No. Nadia was the second to express it. Donuts? Oh, he's pretty. Not my type, but I find him adorable. He couldn't stop himself from thinking about the girl's frail, bright smile etched into his mind. After groaning with his head down for a few moments, Donna quickly raised it again with resolve.
シアンさん、
Cian,
今日僕早めに上がります。なので後からお仕事を追加したりしないでくださいね。
I need to leave now, so please don't toss any more work on me. Toss his work on him. Hey, Cian, he don't care. Run, Donut, run before he can do it. I knew we needed to explain everything. Still, I was a bit anxious that we were only going to scare Nadia by telling her about the fearsome bureau.
犯罪者に命を狙われるセレス。それを守ろうとする兄様の同棲生活。
She's so excited about this. She's, oh my god, a criminal's trying to kill you. I'm so excited. You're gonna live with my brother. Therese is targeted by a criminal. My brother will protect her by living with her.
なんてロマンチックなのかしら。まるで絵本に出てくるお姫様と騎士様の恋物語みたい。
Man. How romantic. It's like a love story from a novel between a princess and her knight.
ね、大丈夫だと言ったでしょ。
See? I told you she would be fine. It was quite obvious that my worries were for nothing when I saw Nadia's sweet angelic smile. But after her excitement settled, she finally grasped the realization.
二人が一緒に暮らしてくれるのは嬉しいけれど、命を狙われるなんてやっぱり心配だわ。
It's nice to know that you two will be living together, but I can't deny that I'm worried about your life and that it's in danger.
絶対に死なないでね。怪 怪我もしないでちょうだいね。
Listen carefully. You better not die on me, okay? Oh, and no getting injured either.
外に出るのも危ないなら、私のお見舞いにだって無理して来なくてもいいのよ。
So stay in your room, basically. That means stepping outside is a risk too. So you don't need to force yourself to come and see me.
新しくできたお友達もいるし、カプシーヌ先生だって話し相手になってくれるから。
I do have a new friend now. And Dr. Cappuccino spends time talking to me too.
私、我慢できるわ。きっと。
So I'll be fine. I'm sure of it. Perhaps she was saddened by her own words, as Nadia's voice took on a quieter tone. I hadn't even said a word about it, and she made the decision for herself. Aww. This is so cute. Lucas gently stroked her head.
まったく思ってもいないことを言うものじゃありません。
Unbelievable. You shouldn't say such things you don't agree with.
入院したばかりの頃、夜が怖い、寂しいとぐすぐす泣いていたのはどこの誰でしたっけ？
I wonder who it was who cried every night after being admitted here and saying that she was scared and lonely.
それはずっと昔の話よ。
That was so long ago.
私はもう大人だもの。しばらく兄様たちが来ないぐらいで寂しくなんか。
I'm grown up now. So even if you two don't visit me like before, I'm not lonely at all. But I'd be lonely. I like how cute you are, Nadia. So if possible, I'd like to see you every day. What about you, Nadia? Would you really be alright if your brother and I stopped coming to see you? She's so cute.
嘘。できないわ。寂しくて寂しくて死んでしまうかも。
That was a lie. I wouldn't like it. I'd probably die from loneliness.
私にとっては兄様やあなたと一緒に過ごす時間が何よりも大切な宝物だもの。
After all, I treasured the time I spent with you and my brother more than anything else in the world. I'm happy to hear it.
久しぶりに子供らしいことを言いましたね。今日の日記にしっかり残しておかなければ。
I haven't heard you talk like a child in a long time. I must put this down in the diary. This is such a cute CG.
自分のことを書かれるのはなんだか恥ずかしいわ。
Now do it, do it. Huh? It's sort of embarrassing to have me written in the diary.
強がって嘘をついた罰です。甘んじて受けなさい。
It's punishment for lying about your feelings, so accept it with grace. Aww. Nadia growled with her cute voice, but I could tell she was actually happy.
でも二人とも息ぴったりでびっくりしちゃったわ。
But I'm surprised how alike you two are.
兄様はよく頭を撫でてくれるけれど、どうしてセレスまで一緒に？
I know my brother pats my head a lot, but you too, Ceres? Lucas and I looked at each other with a puzzled expression. Our eyes naturally moved toward our hands, on top of Nadia's head.
これは 面白い
They
気
kind
分
of
で
look
す
like
ね。
parents here. Well, now, what a coincidence. I guess your habit rubbed off on me. I continued rubbing Nadia's soft hair in unison with Lucas.
兄様以外の人に
This is too
撫でて
happy.
もらっ
Something
た
bad's
の
gonna
は
happen.
久しぶり。
It's been a while since someone other than my brother patted my head.
あったかい。まるで本当の家族になったみたいだわ。
It feels so warm. I feel like we're all a family now. Why do I feel like this is going to be the last memory they have of her? We gently placed the bed sheets over Nadia as she slept so she wouldn't get cold. Lucas and I sat next to each other near her bed and watched her sleeping face. I never expected her to fall asleep while we were rubbing her head.
私の妹はまるで子猫のようですね。
She's like a cute little kitten. Nadia mumbled some words in her sleep.
あ、いた。ゆかさん。
Ah, there you are, Lucas. I turned around at the sound of the door opening and saw a nurse in a white robe peeking inside.
カプシーヌ院長が大事な話があるとあなたを探していましたよ。
Dr. Capuchin was looking for you, saying that there was something important to talk about.
仕事で手が離せないそうなので、今からお伝えする病室まで出向いていただけますか？
It seems he's busy right now, so would you mind heading to the patient's room he's in?
わかりました。
Understood. I wonder what he needs to talk to you about.
おそらく病院で行っている授業の件かと。次回の訪問時期をまだ決めていませんでしたから。
Okay. I believe it's about the lessons I give here. I haven't given him a proposed schedule for my next visit.
では少し席を外します。
Please
その
excuse me for a
間
moment.
ナディアを見ていただいても。
Can you please watch over Nadia in the meantime? Sure. We'll see you later. After gently stroking Nadia's head, he followed after the nurse and left the room. How do we know the nurse is in line just to get him alone? I continued keeping watch over Nadia as she slept soundly while the sun began to set. She's so cute. I could look at her for hours. If I weren't involved in dangerous incidents, I would gladly look after her for hours on end. Without realizing it, I moved closer to Nadia and whispered into her ear as she slept. I'm so sorry I'm dragging your brother into my own problems. I'll do my best so we can come and visit you without worrying as soon as possible. I'll make sure Lucas won't be involved in this much longer. She asked me not to die or get hurt. I remember Nadia's kind wish. I made a promise, even though I knew she wouldn't reply. I had no intention of waking her up, but... Nadia's eyes slowly opened.
セレス、兄様のこと幸せにしてあげて。
Ceres? Please help my brother be happy. Huh? She must be half asleep. Nadia mumbled the words as if she was dreaming of me.
兄様は いつも私のことばかり。私の入院費を稼ぐためにたくさんのお仕事してて。
My brother always thinks of me. He works lots to pay for my hospital bills.
自分の幸せなんて考えない人なの。
He never thinks about his own happiness.
趣味だって私のための日記用の記録ぐらいしか。
Even the diary. He only writes in it because of me. I knew he was handling a lot of things by himself, but her words made me realize why he continued working even when he had his coughing fits. Nadia,
私本気よ。短い間でもいいから。
I'm serious. Even if it's only for a moment.
優しいあなたが兄様のお嫁さんになって。
You're really sweet. So if you can be my brother's wife.
本当の姉様に家族になってくれればいいのに。
Be my sister-in-law. We could be one big happy family. And one's about to roll down mine too. This is so cute. Kind of sad. A single tear rolled down my cheek. I'm sorry, Nadia. I'm deaf, so your wishes... something I can't agree to willingly. I could only wipe tears from my eyes. I told you I'm gonna need my tissues this stream. I'm psychic. After leaving my younger sister in her care, I was led to a room without any patients. I told...
容体が悪化している。
Oh, so it is a... No. I told you it was too happy! Her condition is getting worse. I quickly stood up from the seat upon hearing his sudden words.
そんな
It can't
バ
be.
カな。ついさっきまでは彼女とあんなに楽しそうに話していたんですよ。
But she was just talking to Cerez with so much spirit.
あくまで表面上はだろ。
On the surface, yes, but...
ナディア君は団らんの時を壊さないよう苦しいのを必死に我慢していたのではないかね。
You must know that Nadia suppresses her pain when she is in your and your guests' presence.
本来なら喋るだけで呼吸器がひどく傷んでいたはずだ。
Even talking could cause severe pain to her throat and lungs.
弱音や苦痛を隠すことを得意とする。君たち兄弟は本当にそっくりだよ。
The way she hides her suffering and doesn't complain is very much like you. I could only stay quiet at the doctor's words. He was right that she was very strong, and could bear any kind of treatment, even if it caused her pain.
だが痩せ我慢にも限界がある。このままでは内臓にまでひどい機能障害が起きてしまうだろう。
There's a limit to how much pain she can endure. At this rate, her organs are already beginning to fail.
それを未然に防ぐためには。
In order to prevent that,
分かっているね、リュカ君。
you know what you must do, right, Lucas? He patted my shoulder and smiled gently. I knew more than anyone how trustworthy his eyes were. Honestly, his eyes don't look very trustworthy. I don't trust Cappuccino. Yes.
はい。ああ、そうだ。何を焦る必要がある。
That's right. Why rush?
この程度の危機、今までだって乗り越えてきたじゃないか。
We've overcome dangers like this many times before.
先生とあのお方さえいれば、
As long as we have the doctor and God,
どんな状況になってもナディアの体は持ち直すはず。
I'm sure Nadia will recover to full health no matter the circumstances. That's not how it works. If so,
兄としてできることを精一杯頑張ればいい。
I need to do what I can as her brother.
急がなければ。
I need to hurry. Since she had little freedom, I need to give her as much happiness as possible. But in order to do that, she said that if she had died, she would never be able to help me again. I wasn't long for this world, but she still worried about me. The face of my dear student came to mind. For some reason, my chest ached terribly. Well, I'll come see you again tomorrow, Nadia.
夜にはまだ早いですが、おやすみなさい、ナディア。
I know it isn't night yet, but good night, Nadia. He bent down to give a gentle kiss on Nadia's forehead after she awoke from her nap.
ええ、おやすみなさい、兄様。
Yes. Good night, brother. Nadia did her best to move her head so that she could kiss his forehead too.
セレスもまた明日どうか気をつけてね。
Cerez, I'll see you tomorrow. Please be careful. I will. Thank you. Please pray for everything to be resolved soon. After tucking her in again, we left the room together. Nadia watched from her bed as the two of them departed side by side, like a married couple. She was holding it in. She began to cough as soon as they left.
兄様、私の体調のこときっと気づいてたわよね。
My brother. He knew I was holding back my coughs. It was obvious since he decided to leave an hour earlier than usual.
でも そんな無茶をしてでも私は兄様や彼女とお話ししたかったのよ。
But it was still worth it. I was able to talk to both of them today. If pressed to make a choice, Nadia would easily choose spending time with them at the expense of her own comforts. Yet her body didn't entirely agree. Even if she wanted them to stay longer, the oxygen she needed to stay alive was a source of suffering, triggering her coughs. A frail soul who wasn't allowed to be selfish. Child. Just as tears rose to her eyes from the frustration about her circumstances, Donut came running in.
ナディア、約束通り遊びに来ましたよ。
Hey, Nadia. I'm here for a visit, just like a prom.
どうして泣いてるんです？
He's like, who hurt you? Give me a name, I'll fight them. Huh? What? Why are you crying?
もしかしてリライバーの僕と一緒にいるとこを誰かに見られて意地悪されちゃいました？
Could it be that someone was mean to you for talking to a reliver like me?
ダートくん、違うの。
Donuts. Oh, not at all. The young man she befriended only recently quickly handed her a handkerchief. Nadia took the handkerchief, but she was in no state to dry her tears yet.
さっきまでね、兄様とセレスがお見舞いに来てくれてたの。
My brother and Cerez came by to see me just now.
兄様？ああ、ナディアってリュカさんの妹さんなんでしたっけ？あの二人、今は一緒に働いてるんだとか。
Your brother? Oh yeah, you're Lucas's younger sister. Those two are working together, right? Donna was amazed by how everyone is connected after first hearing about how Cerez and Nadia met. But why would she be crying over something as happy as a family coming to visit her? Just as Donut was about to ask that question,
兄様と彼女がね、
she and my brother.
どんどん仲良くなってくれるのは嬉しいの。
It's nice to see them getting closer to each other.
あ、うん。
Oh. He didn't know exactly what she was implying. Donut decided not to ask her this question and simply listened to her. Nadia continued to mumble in a quiet voice.
でも体が弱くてこの病院から離れられない私は。
But I'm so weak. I can't even step outside the hospital.
二人の幸せそうな日常を日記や言葉越しでしか知れない。
So I only know how happy they are in their daily lives through words or from the diary. Yeah. At this point, Donut deduced that what she was trying to say. Tears continued to flow as Nadia continued.
できるなら私だってこんなベッドの上じゃなくて兄様たちのそばで。
If I had a choice, I'd want to be with them. Not here on this bed all alone.
その幸せの中に溶け込みたい。寄り添い合う二人を
Look at
この目で
she.
見たい。
Nadia's dying. I want to be a part of their happiness. I want to see them together with my own eyes. Nadia rolled up her sleeves with shaking fingers. Donut almost gasped when he saw how thin her arm was.
見て、この細くてろくに動かない体。
See? My body's so weak, I can't even move.
私は兄様たちと一緒にいるための努力、治すために頑張ることもできないの。
I can't even do my best to regain my health so that I can be with them.
だって私生まれてからずっと
I'm kinda sorta. I'm wearing
死んでるから。
the closest to what I have to the main character's outfits. It's my Virche Evermore outfits. Because ever since I was born to die. Sad.
変なの。今までは平気だったのに、優しい姉様ができた途端にこんな。
Isn't it strange? It didn't bother me before, but the moment I got a kind sister-in-law, I just couldn't. Yes, it was. It was my birthday a few days ago, on the 9th. I didn't do a stream that day because I don't know, it was late. Donut was speechless. Oh, it was good. We went out for dinner to a sushi restaurant, had some cake, got some gifts, you know. Pretty basic stuff. Other than that, that's pretty much it, yeah. Very simple. Hearing her earnest desire made it hard for him to say anything in response. From a researcher's standpoint, her body was too weak to bring her wish to fruition. I'll consider it, I don't know. From a researcher's standpoint, yeah.
タート君、私
Donut, even
せめて一度でいいから
even just once.
少しでも長く兄様たちのそばにいるために頑張って
I want to do my best so that I can be next to them for as long as possible. As long as possible. Donut finally knew what she meant by that. Something even Ceres didn't notice. Not a single word of consolation came to mind. Should he say that she'd get better one day? But if he lost to his emotions and consoled her with empty words, he'd probably kill himself for being so irresponsible. Well, I know what I said before, but thank you for taking me in.
はい、こちらこそ。ベッドはぜひ君が使ってください。
Yes, no problem at all. Please feel free to use the bed.
生活する上で何か不便があればいつでもお申し付けを。
If there's anything you need at all, please let me know. Thank you very much. I'm sorry to bother you like this, but let me pay you for letting me stay by handling the cooking and daily chores.
それは楽しみですね。君の手料理は絶品ですから。
I'm looking forward to it. Your cooking is exquisite.
あの温かな料理をしばらく食べられるという意味では不謹慎ですが、ブローに感謝。
I know it's a terrible thing to say, but I should thank Barreau for giving me the opportunity to enjoy your home cooking.
いえ、失言でした。やはり君を怖がらせてしまった罪の方がはるかに重い。
No, I shouldn't have said that. The sight you witnessed was too gruesome to be made light of. Seeing his concern made me feel relieved. After all, it didn't feel right for me to borrow the bed of the master of the house.
でしたら私と共に寝ますか？
Ooh. Well, how about we sleep together then? I could only nod in response, as a smile made it hard to determine whether he was joking or not. In any case, I prepared a simple soup and sandwich dinner for us today. After our meal, I helped him spread another set of bed sheets on the sofa he would be sleeping on before I headed to bed. I can't sleep. It was past midnight now, nearly 1 o'clock in the morning. I've seen half of it. It's one of the animes that I started but never got a chance to finish. What I saw was very interesting. I keep forgetting to go back to it, but it's one I do intend to go back to when I remember. But what I did see of it, I did enjoy. Although it was quite a while ago. I know there is a new one. They made like a remake, a redo of it or something. There's like 2 now. The one I saw was the older one. If I could control people's minds? Honestly, I probably wouldn't use that power much. But I guess if I was feeling selfish, ask someone to go make me lunch and bring it to me. That's the only thing I can think of to use mind control. What would I do if I were evil? If I was evil... Let's think. I'd have everyone bow down to me. And... I don't know, praise me, or I don't know, something. First, everyone to give me their money so I could buy a Tome merch. I don't know. I don't know what I'd do if I was evil. Nah, that'd be too much. I believe in freedom. It'd feel wrong to mind control them, honestly. Just the thought of it feels like a crime. No, because, you know, with mind control, in the end, it's not permanence. I mean, it could be. If it is permanence, it's not genuine. You can't have mind control and have emotions, too. It would feel very fake. Mm. I mean, I could do that. I guess if I wanted to do it a way that wouldn't feel completely morally wrong, I could mind control and manipulate, like, I guess, I don't know, stock markets, manipulate countries to throw their stocks in a direction of where I have my stocks. Not that I don't actually have stocks, but I would set up one and give them have them give me a piece of have them give me some claim to the company where I could earn some like money. Just like in and just like take over that way and earn a fortune that way. And then gather up the cash to take them on dates. Manipulate the market, manipulate the system to get the money, basically. I'd be fine with that. $1 every month. I guess that could work. We're feeling guilty. Yeah, it would add up. $1 a month. Theoretically, that would be a viable option. Or like you'd lose some of that money trying to like foreign currencies, the banks. I'm sure there'd be some kind of variable that would lead you to lose a little bit of that money. I'm not very knowledgeable in finance stuff, but financial stuff, but I feel like that wouldn't make a lot of money. Because on stuff like that, you have to give a good portion of the money to the company. That, or to like something. You don't get all the money from things like that. Like with Twitch. Well, I don't get any money because I'm not associate. Not associate. Affiliate. When you do earn money from like subs, I think like 70% of the money you get goes to Twitch. It would be cool, but you would lose some stuff. Because companies. Donate for what? My video game obsession? Otome anime obsession? I don't even mind controlling. They could donate to that, but I think even in donations, you lose a small portion. I feel like I don't even know if there's a place where you can earn like the entirety of the what you get. That would be bad because if you gave everyone your bank number, when of those people would use your bank number to steal your money, to hack into your accounts or something? And also PayPal. PayPal does take a portion too. Unless you're part of the like friend thing. If it's business, they do take it. But if you're like it's just normal PayPal, then I don't think they do. Honestly, that'd probably be the best solution. Not having to go through any like third party things. Alright, everyone come to this place on this date. Give me your money. Make an orderly line. It was midnight now, nearly 1 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't manage to sleep since my heart was racing anxiously. My body jolted from the rustling of the wind. No matter how many times I tried to go to sleep, images of the tragedy that occurred in that alley revived in my mind. Tragedy that was caused by the supposedly dead Barreau. Feel struck me when I could feel his malice back then, and I still couldn't get that feel out of me. What should I do if Barreau came for me the moment I closed my eyes? What should I do if Lucas was caught in the middle and killed? I could only imagine the worst scenarios. I turned over in my bed without a sound so that I wouldn't wake Lucas, but the bed shook slightly. Curious, I raised my face from under the bedsheet. Lucas, who should have been asleep, had his back against the bed. Next to him were piles of papers, and in his hand was a fountain pen to write with. For a second, I thought he was gonna, sleep rock.
眠れるようになるまでそばにいます。
I'll be next to you until you can fall asleep. Words sounding like a whisper to himself.
私がここにいる限り、君は絶対に大丈夫です。
He can read our minds.
セレス君。
As long as I'm here, you'll be safe, Cerez. I promise. I could see now. I sniffled a bit. Like I said before, you don't need to spoil me so much, Lucas. But thank you very much.
何のことでしょう。目が冴えてしまったので、課題の採点に取り組んでいるだけですよ。
What do you mean? I'm simply grading some homework since I can't sleep either. You've got a lot of papers there. After more time passed, I finally fell asleep around 3 in the morning. He actually stayed next to me until I fell asleep completely. A few days passed. We continued our visits with Nadia and held classes at the facilities, but nothing had changed. As for Barreau, he hadn't caused any more deaths, nor had there been any additional sightings of him. Still, I couldn't shake off my fears and kept waking up in the middle of the nights. Each time, Lucas would sit next to the bed until I could fall asleep. Then one night, as Lucas and I were going through the homework gathered from the orphanage to be graded. Yeah, I don't make money. I'm not popular enough to make money. I'm not good enough yet. Because people hate ads. When you go to a channel and someone has an ad, doesn't it kind of annoy you? It frustrate you? Especially if it's in the middle of like a good gameplay or something. I don't want to make people experience that. Even if it does get me money. Besides, not enough people even visit me for me to get anything from that. It would be counterproductive at the point where I am. I average 1 to 2 viewers. Maybe 3. I don't know. Because in my mind, I think that, like, if you're watching a small viewer and they're playing an ad, like, would you stay? Or would you go and leave to find another person? I don't know. In my mind, it seems counterproductive. I guess I could, but I don't have high hopes for it. It all depends on if they like me and what I do. Whether they would support. I think that's in my mind that's how it would work. Cuz not a lot of people will support someone just for the reason of being small. They're on Twitch to get entertainment, not to give someone support. I feel like the majority of the people watching have that kind of mindset. It's just like as people say, you're not going to waste your time on something boring, right? But I could try doing ads for a week. Yes, but only if they like them. Right now, I don't know if my content is at a level to where people like me enough to support me. Looking at my numbers, I don't have a lot of hope for that. Well, there are some days where no one comes, so I have no one to ask. Usually the only person who comes is like... Choco comes often. I don't think Choco likes ads, though. I do a little bit of Genshin now that I have it, but honestly, it didn't do all that well. And also, I got two creepy guys who asked me if I wanted to do anal. So yeah, that's not a good start. Obviously, I banned them. I don't do SPF games or shooty games, which is I think a majority of like the popular stuff. So what the popular stuff is, aside from Genshin, I don't really do. That was on the Genshin stream. I have odds up if you want to look. I banned them right away. And I guess I could do Minecraft, but I could try that. I might. I haven't played that in a while. could do that. I just can't be sure how many people would answer. I've done polls before. I usually get one vote. One or two people voting. Anyway. But Minecraft is a good idea. I do enjoy that game. Possibly. I have thought of launching a Discord server, but just not for me. Honestly, I don't know if my idea would work, but I might try it. Obviously, being an indie streamer or otome streamer in general, like otome visual novel games or even visual novel games in general, are kind of a niche on Twitch, I feel like. And then when you move it to otome games, that's like a niche within a niche. And then it's like, I feel like since if there's other people out there like me who do this kind of thing as a majority of their Twitch streaming stuff, if we can gather them all together in a place, they could help a network. So that's my idea for a Discord server. Maybe I can even collab. So that's something I've thought of doing. I can't say how much it will work if I do it, considering my lack of popularity. But if it does work, it might actually go somewhere. I don't know. Help people. I like helping people. Hello, Choco again. Yeah, I need to do that. I can spam the community with cat pictures. Can make 2 Discord servers. One for me as Voxcat, and one for the small indie game streamers, indie game otome streamers. Because like I have seen like communities like that like support small streamers, But a majority of the people in that community, those communities, are like they play the big games like Fortnite and Call of Duty and Genshin Impact, and that's the majority of what they do. And it's like I can't really relate so much here. Yeah, it's like that. So I figured that if I could maybe build a place where it's like that, but more aimed toward the niche of indie gamers and visual novel players, that might help people and also help me in turn. It's an idea I've had. I just need to figure out how to make a server and get the confidence to launch it. Because certainly somewhere out there that I don't know, there's other indie game visual novel streamers that aren't very exposed to the world. Other people like me. But I haven't found them because they're hard to find. Are hidden in the tiny little cracks of the Twitch streaming world. So I thought of making that. Maybe it could help small streamers like me. Also, it'd be fun to collab with people. Honestly, it's hard to find people on Discord, period. Unless you actually know them. And if there is a way to do that, I don't know how. I feel like Discord would be the better option. I'd probably need help advertising it if I did launch it. I probably need to reach out to some people. I do have some people in mind I could. Because if I did launch an indie game visual novel kind of small streamer thing, it would not only help out the streamers, but it would help out the devs of the games. Because, you know, not everyone finds that, like, new indie game right away. Like, it's not always advertised, and there's those small little treasures hidden away that, you know, if they put on the community, oh hey, I found this game from da 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 da. You guys should check it out. That gives exposure to the indie devs too. So I need, in order to make it all work, I need to reach out to multiple people who have a larger viewership than me. Because I feel like I'm not going to get anywhere myself. I've used Discord, but not to find servers. I find the servers through other social media things like Twitter or like just links or whatever. I've never used a search function. Honestly, I don't really use Discord that much. I have it, but I don't use it. I'm not very good at going on it. I need to be better this year. That's one of the things I want to be better at. Like, communication. Yeah. And socialization. Maybe. Need to look up how to create a Discord server. I am proud of a BTS gamer community that I found on Twitter, which actually they have an event going on today and tomorrow. Actually missing one of them because my schedule overlaps, unfortunately, but I could catch the 7 a.m. watch party, maybe. It's a summer afternoon. That's another thing I'll be doing sometime this year. I just need to plan it all out. Disboard? Disporad? What is Disporad? What the heck is a Disparad? Is it on Discord or is it on its own thing? Disboard. Disboard. Okay, it's its own thing. Man. Hmm. Okay, so it's basically a search function. Okay, so I could probably use this to advertise the server when I launch it. Okay, I'll favorite this so I can come back to it. Okay, I see. Good search. They're non-existing. Or maybe I need to do the Japanese name. Shuan no Virche. Yeah, there's non-existing. So it doesn't have everything, but it has stuff. Alright, I'll check more of this out later. But I'll probably use that to either look for interesting servers or to advertise the one I make. That would be a good way to do it. Could be. But yeah. Wait. Back to game. No, I don't know a lot of stuff, honestly. Again, box cat for a reason. I live in a box. I don't know a lot of stuff. I don't have a lot of connections, so. Honestly, I barely know what I'm doing. Figuring it out as I go. Man direction. Alright. Then one night, as Lucas and I were going through the homework gathered from the orphanage to be graded.
Oh yeah.
The transmitter we borrowed from the corpse to maintain communication rang softly.
はい。こちら、リュカです。
Yes, Lucas speaking.
あ、先生、セレスもそばにいるのかな?
It's only Yves. I thought it was gonna be like something bad. Like, Rose, right outside your window! Run! Oh, Lucas. Is Ceres there too?
俺たちからかけるのは初めてだな。元気にしてるか?
think it's the first time we called from our end. How are you two doing so far? Yves, Hugo. I heard kind, familiar voices from the device.
クロード家で何かありましたか？
Something happened with the Claude family.
はい。忙しいアドルフに代わって、俺たちから状況と情報の共有しますね。
Well, that's why we called on Adolf's behalf to share some information.
まずマティスですが、あの日からずっと部屋の中にこもってます。
Baby!
というよりも、前より症状が悪化していて。
Why did Burrow have to show up? He was getting better. He was healing, and then Burrow had to show up and kill a guy and roll his organs toward us. He's traumatized by child. Chris Mathis had been holed up in his room since we last saw him. I think he might be getting worse.
信頼するジャンの呼びかけさえ聞こえてない状態です。
Not even his trustworthy butler Jean is able to get him.
ありゃブローに怯えてるってより、奴との本当の実力差を思い知って絶望してるって感じだな。
From the looks of it, he isn't scared of Burrow, but more discouraged by how much stronger he is.
自分じゃどうあがいてもかなわねえって。あの一件で悟っちまったんだろう。
So I guess that scene was more than enough to make him realize he's no match. That's horrible. And just when he was finally able to leave his room.
こればかりはね。俺も手料理を差し入れたりしてみてるんだけど。
No wonder he's doing worse! Yves is cooking! Yves can't cook! Not much to do about it. Honestly speaking, I've been cooking up some dishes and serving them to him, but...
それにも限界がある。先生、事件が解決したら、坊ちゃんに面談でも何でもしてやってくれ。俺たちとジャンジャン、もうお手上げだ。
We can only do so much, Lucas. If we can get this situation resolved, you mind checking in on Mathis? We're all out of ideas.
もちろん、私にできることでしたら。
Of course, I'd be more than happy to help.
ひとまず、今は無理をさせず、最低限の食事と睡眠をとってもらうことだけを考えてあげてください。
But first, please don't pressure him. Just try to have him sleep and eat as much as he can. I could tell Yves nodded, beyond transmitter and confirmation. They then continued talking about the Reliver technology used to bring Burrow back to life. I still believe that there's multiple of Burrows. Like it's like an organization, not a singular person. According to what science said, when they finally got in touch,
リライバーの生産技術は
it's my
こ
husband.
の国立研究所が独占している。他に一切の例外はなく、俺が許さん。
The Institute has full rights to Reliver technology. No one else has access, and I wouldn't allow it either.
だがブローがリライバーとして蘇ったと仮定すると、
Assuming Burrow did revive as a Reliver,
この研究所に所属、あるいは過去にしていた何者かが
the only possibility is someone who is formerly associated with the Institute.
廃棄予定だった古い装置を盗み出し、どこかで悪用している可能性が最も高いだろう。
May have stolen old equipment that was to be discarded and is using it illegally in science routes, underground institutes. There's technology that they didn't know was there. There's a whole place that they didn't know was even existing. and an old, like, I don't even know what it's called, but a piece of technology of science that he thought had broken that was down there. So that might be it. That might be the place where they're reviving him. Because he was literally down there. And I should put up the spoiler. I should have put up the spoiler tag. Sorry. Those were his thoughts on the matter.
ならばブローに協力している者が国立研究所の中に。
If so, then perhaps there's someone in the Institute assisting Bro.
断言はできないけど、ひとまず怪しそうな人物を一通り洗ってくれるそうです。
He mentioned it's unlikely, but he said he'll check for anyone suspicious amongst his staff to make sure.
で、そのブローにあの晩殺された被害者の一人の身元も分かったんだが。
Oh yeah. We also found out who one of Burrow's victims was that night, but suddenly Hugo stopped for a moment. I could tell he was gathering the strength to somehow force himself to continue his sentence.
リライバーの実業家だな。一人暮らしで配偶者はなし。
The person was a reliver and a businessman who lived alone and had no family.
いや、厳密には過去にいた。前に施設へ乗り込んできたドニって子供の父親だ。
And so the pieces come together. To be specific, he had a family before. It's that father who barged into the orphanage for his kid, Dennis. Remember last stream? There was a father who had literally had his kid work for money. Kind of sort of sold his kid for money so he could become a reliver. And he was also an abusive parent. But, like, he was a horrible parent, basically. He tried to reclaim his kid after he became a reliver. Kid didn't want to go, stayed at the orphanage. Well, we are aware that Bureau has ties to the orphanage or to orphanages. It somehow plays into his history. Because multiple times now he's acted on behalf of the orphanage, or the people at the orphanage. In this case, killing the father of the child. Because I have no doubt that I think the father even said that he would be back for him. And he probably was trying to come back. And like in Science Route, he literally burst through the window when they did the massacre on the whole orphanage. I'm out of sight road. Yeah. Huh? You're kidding. You mean him?
セレス君、しっかり。
It's okay, he was a bad person anyway. Cerez, hang on. Lucas quickly held up my back as I started to feel dizzy. I didn't know him well, but he was someone I once spoke to. Just the thought of someone I knew being killed made me want to vomit.
ごめん、こんな話君を怖がらせるだけだよね。でも当事者である以上は伝えないわけにはいかなくて。
I'm sorry. We know this would only scare you, but we couldn't hold this information back since the two of you knew him before.
まあさすがにこれはあんたが呼び寄せた不幸じゃねえだろ。単にあいつの運が悪かっただけだ。気にすんな。
Yeah, but I seriously doubt it has anything to do with your misfortune. It was probably just bad luck on his part, so don't worry.
それに悪い知らせの後はいい知らせが続くってのがお決まりだしな。
Besides, you know it's common to follow bad news with good news, right?
おや、何か朗報が？
Oh, so there is good news? It's like, nope. But it's common.
はい。今回の件を受け、シアンさんも最低限なら支援してくれると言って。
Yay! Yes. After this incident, Cyan said he would support us, at the very least. Yay, my husband's coming to support us.
万が一、ブローに襲われた時に備え。
My fictional one that eats bread off the floor like an animal. So Burrow strikes.
踊りとなっている2人と警護担当、それから接触が多い関係者に無償でリライバー化の権利を与えるそうだ。
Anyone acting as bait or a guard or anyone else closely involved in the case will be allowed to become a reliver at no cost. No charge! Free, 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 free.
Huh?
But they don't want to, so it's... they're getting nothing. What? And that meant... if someone dies, then he'll revive the person into a reliver?
バックアップを取るためにも、なるべく早く研究所に来いって。
Yeah, so he said we should head to the institute right away to get ourselves backed up.
俺たちは周辺の夜景を担当してる団員とマティス、ジャンを連れて行きます。
Gonna take our guys handling the night shift along with Mathis and Jean. Yeah, the night shift guys are definitely gonna need it because they're faceless beings and they are the most likely to get murdered.
あんたらの場合、該当する関係者はシスターと。
She can't move though. As for you guys, I know you've got a sister at the orphanage.
あとはあれだ、先生には毎日会ってる妹さんがいいんだっけか。せっかくタダなんだし、
Oh, you
連れ
mean
て行ったら。
not like sister, but like church sister. Yeah, yeah. But she's already a reliver. And what was her name again? Your little sister too, Lucas. Might as well since it's gonna be free, so
結構です。
it's fine. A cold voice stopped Hugo mid-sentence. Hearing their surprise on the other end, the teacher calmly continued.
私とあの子は使い捨ての命など望まない。
My younger sister and I do not want life that is expendable.
リライバーになどならない。
We will not become relivers. Before Yves and the others could say anything, he quickly turned off the transmitter.
リライバーにだけはならない。
We will never become relivers. Lucas? About what he just said. Did he say what I think he did? Yes, he did.
騙すような真似をしてしまい申し訳ありません。
I'm sorry not to have disclosed this to you sooner. With that, Lucas reached out to a locked bookshelf. Pretty book. He then took out a familiar book.
私とナディアはたとえ短くとも人として生き、人として死ぬことを望む。
Nadia and I may not live long, but we seek to live as humans and die as humans.
反リライバー団体エクソシスト教団の信徒の一人です。
I'm a follower of the anti-reliever group, the Society of Exorcists. His beliefs. I can understand why he doesn't want to become a reliver. As I said before, losing all your emotions. You're not really alive. Nadia and I were born to reliver parents who lived in Cheddars. One a former royal guard, the other's teacher. My parents acknowledged each other of their strengths, and as proof married in a way that made them like sworn friends. They weren't in love, but we were born, so I assumed they got along and we got to get along as well as a family. I assumed they got along. And we too got along well as a family. There we go. I just live like I'd make breakfast, go to work, come home, and just do the same thing every day. I do every day, like a robot, on a schedule. I mean, are you really living if you have no emotions? Physically, yes, but what is there to experience? Nothing, because you can't feel anything. Just work. That's the only reason for becoming a reliver. To work. To work and be there. I mean, it'd be good for like a parent because like they'd be able to be there for the child, but like they wouldn't be able to give the child the love they deserve. It could give them food on the table, in a house to live in, but the child wouldn't get anything more than that. My younger sister Nadia, who looked just like me, was born. I was so happy that I was about to cry. Back then, I didn't have any particular thoughts or prejudices about relivers. I simply assumed that one day, we would be like our parents and continue to revive forever. But that thought changed when I became a witness to a certain incident in Cheddars. It was at the time when Nadia, who was born weak, was admitted to the hospital yet again. I went to the marsh nearby, so that I could find a gift I could take to her. It was then that I saw a friend who was known as a brother, who pampered and loved his younger sister in the same way that I dote on Nadia. But one day he became a reliver. And there I witnessed him brutally beating his beloved younger sister to death. I went pale seeing not only the brutality, but also how he changed.
違う。あんなのは私の友ではない。
Yeah. No. He's not my friend.
騙された。リライバーとは延命じゃなく、偽物にされることじゃないか。
I'd have to agree, kind of. We're being tricked. turning into a reliver doesn't extend our lifespans. It only turns us into fakes. The hatred and disgust I felt then was the source behind why I came to deny relivers. But unlike me, my parents had blind faith in reliver technology. Around 8 years ago, since Nadia was born weak, every doctor who examined her told her that she could die any moment, and didn't look further into it. My parents therefore opted to extend her life by turning her into a reliver. But Nadia, as young as she was, sensed what it meant to become a reliver, and that's why he ran away with her. She vehemently refused my parents' proposal. I too prioritized her choice, and after an extended argument after arguments, I ran from home with her on my back to find a way to cure her for good.
その数年後、
A few years later,
私はバックアップを取らないままに両親が亡くなったことを風の噂で知りました。
I heard from word of mouth that my parents passed away without any backups.
悲しくなかったといえば嘘になりますが、
It would be a lie to say I wasn't sad, but
リライバー、偽物となった彼らに会わずに済んだことは良かったと
I was slightly relieved
少し
that we didn't need to see them as
安堵してい
relivers,
ます。
as fakes. Yeah, that'd be hard. Seeing your loved one turn into someone like motionless and like relentless. To see such a change in someone who you used to know. That'd be difficult. I took a sip of the warm milk Lucas made for me as we sat across from each other. What he just told me was so shocking that I wasn't sure if I understood him correctly. But what I did know was, if you have no plans on becoming a reliver, doesn't that mean you have a year? No, maybe only a few months to live. Before you die, his days were numbered.
はい、死にます。
Yes, death is inevitable. He confirmed it in a calm voice.
残していくナディアのことはカプシーヌ先生にお任せしているので大丈夫だと思いますが。
I've already asked Dr. Cappuccino to take care of Nadia once I'm gone. So I do think everything will be fine. But what about us? What about us? Have you ever thought of us? I couldn't just shout, why? The truth that he would die soon rang through my head like a clanging metal. No. Not just him. If his parents wanted them to extend their lifespans by becoming relivers. Wait. Nadia too? His nod expressed his sorrow. Why hadn't I noticed? I don't know. I never thought of what it meant that Nadia spent every day and nights at that hospital.
あの子が抱えるのは呪いとはまた別の名前もついていない 不治の病。
In her case, it isn't the curse afflicting her, but rather an unknown terminal disease. If we could find out what disease it is, Donut could probably convince Cyan to concoct some kind of medicine or something to cure her. He's smart enough. Maybe I placed too much trust in him. Probably. He's capable, it's just what he do it. He said that the symptoms were similar to those of the curse, but with a big difference. The disease prevented her muscles from developing, and she couldn't even stand. Ignore the image of her standing. Her bones were rotting from the inside, and the organs required for breathing and eating were having functional problems. Complications also put her at risk at dying from even the common cold. The technology of this country was unable to cure her, and her speaking was already a miracle. So even if she continued to receive medical treatments, it wouldn't be for long. He ended his explanation by sadly saying she faced discrimination from the unusual nature of her illness, being so unlike the curse. Horrible. I never knew she was fighting such a disease.
ですが、何も兄弟ともども全てを諦めているわけではありません。
But it's not that we've given up hope just yet. He said it as though to recenter himself. What time is it? It's only midnight. 12:48. It's still pretty early. He said it as though to recenter himself.
少しでもあの子
I
が
usually
長
go
く
for
生きられる
multiple
よ
hours, so
う、カプシーヌ先生と共に
go for
打て
two
る手
more.
は全て打っていますから。
I'm already working with Dr. Cappuccino so that she can live for as long as possible.
仮にリライバー化でその病気が治るとしても、ナディアは絶対に受け入れないでしょう。
Assuming becoming a reliver can cure her disease, I doubt Nadia would want to accept that as an option. That was because she would lose the feelings for her brother.
私たちは互いへの親愛を忘れないため、
What time is
人
it
と
over
して
there?
生きて死のうと誓い合いました。
We swore to each other that we would live as humans and die as humans, so that we won't forget our love as our family.
この国に生きる人々からしたら、私たちの決断はさぞ愚かなのでしょう。
I can only assume that the people of this land see us as fools making such a decision.
ですが、
But
失う痛みすら感じられなくなるよりもずっといい。
it is a better choice than ending up numb from the pain of losing something precious.
たとえ短くとも、私たちは人として生きていたい。
So even if our lives are short, we want to live as humans. I noticed that my vision was blurred. Before I knew it, tears fell from my eyes into my cup, sending a splash into the air. I was so stupid. I had brought misfortune to everyone, and learned how precious life truly was. Yet, I simply assumed that one could just back themselves up and become a reviver. I saw dear life that could be lost, but not life that could be revived. I assumed those who opted into it could greet a new day without question. I didn't know what went through the minds of those who treated every second as special. I took a deep breath. I somehow forced the words, "Please don't die," back inside my throat, and roughly wiped my tears away. So then, we need to get everything resolved right away so that we can spend as much time with Nadia as possible. I spoke with a shaking voice. I had personally never seen revivers as fakes before, but I knew I couldn't convince them based on what he'd just told me. I was probably just trying to satisfy myself, but I wanted to say words that would uplift them, not words of grief of coming deaths.
君はやっぱり優しい子ですね。
You really are a kind soul.
ありがとう、セレス君。私たちの気持ちを否定しないでくれて。
Thank you, Ceres. Thank you for not denying our feelings.
どうか私が死んだ後もあの子と仲良くしてあげてください。
I ask that you please be a good friend to her after I die.
そして君自身も後悔のない選択ができますように。
And to you, I ask that you make a choice that you don't regret.
私は一足先に生き、君の人生と選択を見守ることにします。
I will depart this world before you, so I'll watch over your life and the choices you make. That's so unfair, Lucas. You said that with such a bright and happy smile. Now I can't try to convince you not to die. I hadn't done anything yet. He was patting my head gently like before. With each stroke, I forced myself to hold back the tears from flowing out of my eyes. The warmth from the palm of his hand was telling me kindly that I did my best. I knew that it was just his usual gesture, but somewhere inside me, I wanted that gesture to have a special meaning. It is sad. I see. Telling him about my feelings would only burden him. This feeling I have must be love. But he's going to die! Perhaps all the crying had taken its toll. Or maybe it was the sleepless nights. After drinking the warm cup of milk, I felt sleepy, so I tucked myself in the bed before I even changed my clothes.
起きろ。
Up.
起きろ。
Wake up! Who? Hello? Who's there? My mind quickly awoke from someone vigorously shaking my shoulders. I smelled a thick odor of iron. In front of my open eyes was... Oh, Anko!
よかった。まだ無事だったか。
Something's happening. Good. You're still safe. Anko! What are you doing in this house? Is this breaking and entering? The Watchman of Death from Hades stood in front of me with a deep wound across his body. I assumed he forced his way inside. The broken door had large amounts of blood around the edges. What's the matter? Why are you wounded? No, wait. We need to stop you bleeding.
心配いらない。この程度ならしばらくすれば自然と治るはず。
Don't worry. Wounds of this nature will heal naturally. In time.
それよりも今すぐこの場から離れろ。
Now, quickly. You must escape. Huh?
あの男、君の選んだパートナーか。
That man. The partner you chose. This danger. Anko! I quickly held Anko from falling as his consciousness slipped away. The partner I chose? Does he mean Lucas? Come to think of it, despite all the commotion, it didn't seem like Lucas was awake. Huh? Lucas? I looked around the room and saw that he wasn't here.
So それよりも今すぐこの場から離れろ。あの男、君の選んだパートナーか。
I don't know who else he could be referring to. It's gotta be Lucas, right? But I don't think we chose anyone else, right? But why? I mean, I would say that, oh, it's Lucas Burrow, but Lucas literally kicked Burrow into a wall, so but maybe that's a different Burrow. Maybe that one was set up. It couldn't be. Did something happen while I was sleeping? I've been having a hard time sleeping, but I fell asleep tonight of all times. Adolf and the others immediately came to mind. But the transmitter that should be on the table was nowhere to be found. What should I do? This is where we save. I'm gonna trust Anko and leave the house. Even though staying inside seems like the smart opinion, but Anko said to run. I knew I shouldn't move on my own, but sensing that something terrible might have happened to Lucas moved me to action. I can't call for help since it looks like the transmitter's missing. Even if I couldn't do anything myself, I could at least go outside and ask for help from the corpse doing their night rounds. Probably all dead. I quickly bandaged Anko however I could, somehow managing to get him up on the bed. Lucas, please stay safe. Don't leave Nadia behind. I ran out into the night to search Coen for the person I finally realized I loved. I kept running and running through the nights when I heard a lost transmitter blipping coming from one of the alleys. Oh gosh. I looked around for a moment to make sure there was no one around. Lucas? Hoping that my love was still alive, I felt myself drawn deeper into the alley. Oh gosh.
先生、セレス、深夜に悪い。もし寝てるなら、朝起きてからこの記録を再生してくれ。
Lucas, Saraz. Sorry to bother you so late. If you're sleeping, reply to this message when you wake up in the morning.
シアンから連絡が来た。先日ブローたちに殺された被害者の身元の特定が終わり。
I just received word from Cyan. He was able to confirm who Burrow killed that night.
今まで不明だった共通点も見つかった。それは
He also discovered a commonality amongst the victims, which is
リライバー。
they were all relivers.
奴は研究所に多大な出資をしているリライバーを狙って惨殺している。
It looks like he's targeting relivers who are funding the institutes.
マティスもお前も人間だからターゲットにはならねえだろうが。引き続き警戒を。
I doubt you or Mathis will be targeted since you two are still human. But keep your guard up and... An eerie red bloomed. He is Burrow.
神よ。
I knew there was something weird. But there's gonna be multiple because, like... I mean, he is wearing the hood, right? But multiple times we've seen Burrow in front of us. And Lucas there. So, either he isn't or there's multiple. So I originally had a theory, oh, it might be Lucas. But then Lucas appeared in front of Burrow as we backed him into a corner the first time. And so I was like, oh, I guess not. But... Was this a coincidence? Oh, God.
今宵もたくさんの悪魔を浄化し、御身のもとへと送りました。
I knew he was crazy. I was able to once again purify these demons so that the souls can be sent to heaven.
どうか彼らが今度こそ
I pray for their souls.
道を違えぬ天使として生まれ変わることができますように。
That they would be reborn as angels and not make the same mistake again.
おや、
Oh my.
こんな時間まで夜更かしするなんて。
To be out at such a late hour.
君はとっても悪い子ですね。
You really are a bad girl, aren't you? Run, Suraz.